Ah, welcome again, Jackson Joy. The Giants are out of the playoffs. They're able to get sacked. Jones to be traded. Lots and lots to speak about. But first, I have to say, fucking Giants are rubbish, man. They're fucking rubbish. I started with Dable to get sacked. Brian Dable is an amateur coach, and he showed it. Coach of the year, my ass. He showed how amateur he is in a situation of where he could win or what he could change to win a game or at least get control. Now, tell me, this game started, they've had all the hype, beating Minnesota, who are rubbish, by the way. If you don't know that Minnesota Vikings are the worst team that ever made the playoffs this year, then I'm sorry, but the NFL, you don't watch that. Go and watch some badminton or something, but you don't know that sport. You gonna say the owner's gonna come out, oh, we're back after one win in 11 years. Saquon plays one playoff game since he's been drafted in 2018, and he's suddenly the best thing since Emmitt freaking Smith. How stupid can you be? The Giants were never level-headed. They didn't know how to deal with it. They don't know what to do. I mean, everybody talking Dexter Lawrence, Leonard Williams. Where the hell were they against Philly? Where the hell were they? Hiding behind Fletcher Cox. Is he that big? You can't see behind him. Is he that big? I mean, the Giants deserved to go home. And they weren't even supposed to make it past the wild card round, but Minnesota are so shit that they got through. I mean, should Daboll be sacked? I think the whole defensive aspect of that team should be sacked. You can't. The first game of the play is about a 60-yard pass from Hurts to Devontae. And no one countered that. Okay, cool, first play of the game. Then they just kept running the ball and there was no stopping it. Over 200 rush yards by the start of the fourth quarter. And then Daniel Jones throwing picks. Some of those are individual errors. But when you watch and you keep seeing the Eagles are completing drives with just the running backs, with Boston Scott, Miles Sanders. That's all they're doing. It shows how rubbish your coaching staff could be to see this happening for more than 5 plays, more than 5 drives, and leave everything the same. He doesn't change the formation to a nickelback. He leaves it at 4-3. He doesn't do anything different. And people are saying this guy should have been coach of the year. Oh my God. The Giants have not been relevant in a while. Don't let them feel like they're relevant now. They're the reason this is the NFC least. I mean, if it wasn't for Dallas and Philly, what the hell? No one would care about this division. They already don't, but no one would care about this division any more than they already do. I mean, everybody talking, oh, Danny Dimes is going to lead us. Where the fuck is his legs? Huh? Against Minnesota and in the regular season, he's been running. He's going everywhere. Playing Philly, oh, he's a pocket passer. He's freaking Brady now. Huh? He's Brady. He's no longer Josh Allen. He's Tom Brady now. So he's going to pass from the pocket. He can't throw anything on target. His receivers can't catch anything because they've all been it's so cold. They don't know how to keep their hands dry. They're rubbish. The Giants are absolute rubbish. And I think next season they're going to be even worse. Because who's going to stay in this team? Do you see growth? Yes, they made the playoffs this time. But this is a game you don't lose. It's not like Philly came out and were the best team in the world playing better than New England of 2015. No. Philly came out. Philly always start games strong. And we see how that can happen. All you have to do is play your game and then counter what they do. Philly is a team that comes out hard and plays heavy in the first 2 quarters, first half of the game, and they defend what they have since. It's prime Jose Mourinho, if you know, for actual football. It's prime Jose Mourinho. You get the lead, you defend what you have. You add on if you get a chance. But no, the Giants are rubbish, right? When they hired Brian Daboll, I said that was a horrible decision. Yes, they brought them to the playoffs, but come on. Are you telling me Brian Flores, a more defensive coach, if he had this team in this same position, wouldn't give Philly more of a game? I mean, come on. How rubbish can you guys be? You know Jalen Hurts has a bad shoulder. How many pressures have you got to him? About maybe 2 in the entire game. A guy with a bad shoulder. You should be blitzing the hell out of that team. I don't care if he has A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. I don't care if he has Julian Edelman and Michael Irvin. Blitz the hell out of him, man. The whole defensive structure is the reason the Giants are out. And they're going to go home. They're going to say, oh, unlucky. Next season we're going to be different. I mean, come on. You guys can't stop the fucking run. You can't expect to be a good team and can't stop the run. You guys are worse. They played worse than the freaking Houston Texans. They played worse than the Colts. They're rubbish. I mean, I'm watching the game. I'm watching it on Fox, and there's some clueless commentator when it's into the fourth quarter saying, "Oh well, on 4th and 6, you got the punt because there's plenty of possessions left." Have you not been watching the game? Has anybody not been watching the game? When it was the third quarter, they finally scored 28-7. You have a minute and about 20 seconds. You have 80 yards to go. Run the hurry up. Just go it. No huddle. Go straight. Just use the rest of the time in this quarter. Try and get it to 10 or 14. Make a game of it. Make a game of it. No, you're not making a game of it. You chill. You fourth down. You punt it. Who the hell is that going to fit? I mean, they brought in Gardner Minshew, for God's sake. Do you know how rubbish you have to be for Jalen Hurts to be fit and then to bring in Gardner Minshew on you? That's like having Tom Brady on your team and you say, oh, we're going to play Taylor Heineke. It's just disrespectful. And you guys are just there, not doing anything. You're making Philly feel like they actually have a chance at the Super Bowl. I mean, come on, man. I know look, I've said this already. Philly used their strongest team in the last week of the regular season because they were at jeopardy of losing the number 1 seed to San Francisco. So they had to go strong. There was no ifs, buts, or maybes about it. They had to go strong, rush back Jalen Hurts, all other things. They had to do it. You rested everybody. You played your B team. You played your C, probably even your D team. And you lost by 6. And you're telling me you play your strongest team. Everybody's fit. No injury concerns. I mean, maybe Kenny Galladay is out. But no real injury concerns. No nothing. And you get blown out. Oh my God. And you're telling me that there's something that shouldn't be changed. I know Daboll's only been there a year, but come on, man. He's nowhere close as experienced as what Flores is. And we know it's because Daboll's not, Flores doesn't have the light skin. We know it. And no one can deny it. Right? No matter how much they want to dress it up in public or say the politically correct statements. No one can deny it. We know that Brian Daboll didn't get the Giants job because he's a black guy. We know that. We know that's why he didn't get any of the jobs. We know that's why Pittsburgh took him, because Pittsburgh's all about diversity. I mean, they haven't had a losing season under Tomlin. They didn't make the playoffs. But since he's been the head coach, they haven't had a losing season. And you brought in this guy who no one heard about in his entire career. He's done well in a couple of games. He's won a few games. You're chanting, oh, we're back. Danny Dimes, yeah, he's the man. Oh my God, man. Saquon, he's going to lead us to great things. This is Saquon's first ever season of being fully fit. He's been drafted in 2018, and this is his first season of being fully fit. And you're saying he's going to be the one to lead you. He's not. He's not. And I repeat, he's not a good player like that. He might be able to make the first man miss. Come on, he's not even the level of a DeMarco Murray or a James White. You're saying he's going to be the one to lead you. Come on, man. It was a rubbish game from the Giants. They don't deserve anything out of it. Who should be traded? I mean, what's the point? What's the point? I mean, you have big play Slay, you have it talking shit. You have him talking absolute shit all over the place now. You can't shut him up. I mean, I say the way the playoff structure is, it's a bit fucked up because if Philly got Tampa Bay, I know Tampa Bay is getting a win there. I know Brady's going through. I know Brady's not out. Because I know big play Slay is quieter than a lamb, quieter than a church mouse when Mike Evans in his face. Because he can't do shit. It's like, I'm going to use an analogy. It's like you telling Fred, to Mark Vincent Company on a corner. Who the hell is that supposed to benefit? Not even Company. Because that is no test. There's no test to it. I mean, Slay had nothing to do as a deep back. He had nothing to do. The Eagles' defense had nothing to do because it was just given back. I mean, Jones had protection. Nothing happened. It's like wearing a condom, and then you realize there was an expiry date on the label, but you used it anyway. You said you used protection, but when you pulled out, everything was torn, and then you're wondering, wait, hold on, the company lied to us. You know, it's bullshit like that. But the Giants, they're rubbish. They are the NFC least. They are the NFC least. Washington is the NFC least. As I said, I would have heavily preferred if Green Bay had gone through. If Green Bay didn't have such a shit start to the season, I would have loved to see them here. Because God, I can tell you now, I can tell you this for free. There's no way Aaron Rodgers is bowing out in the first round. Well, wild card, I know he's gonna win the wild card game if he plays Minnesota. They're rubbish. If he's here against Philly, there's no way he's bowing out to these guys. I mean, come on. He had a broken finger and some broken ribs when he played Philly earlier in the season, and they barely held on to beat him. You're telling me that a fit Rodgers not going to win this game, especially since he's clicking. The Giants are just a disappointment. The Giants, the Vikings, the Seahawks, they all just stunk up the place, man. They shit up the place. They made it all bad for the rest of us. Like the AFC is fire. The AFC is very good. I mean, we've seen what Jacksonville can do. Kudos to them. They actually played well against Mahomes and Kansas City. Kansas still won, which is probably expected from most of us. But yeah, it's just really disappointing when you look at the NFC. The teams that are making the playoffs, they're all just rubbish. I mean, who are the good teams that are actually in the playoffs? I mean, Philly, and the two that are playing on Sunday, Dallas, San Francisco. There are no other good teams that actually made the playoffs. These are just guys who made up the numbers. The NFC has been absolutely piss poor, and I mean, what can you do to change it? There's no good QB in the NFC, by the way. I mean, if you're talking top 5 QBs in the league, not one of them is in the NFC. Don't even try putting Jalen Hurts in that conversation. Because first of all, you got Patrick Mahomes, you got Josh Allen, you got Joe Burrow, you got Justin Herbert, and you got the emergence of Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence made the Jacksonville Jaguars win the AFC, win their division for the first time in how long was it? About 16 years, if I'm not mistaken. They moved from 3-7 to 9-8 to finish the season. He virtually put that team on his back and dragged them over the line. I mean, they weren't very good. You look at the team individually, they weren't very good. You know, you watch the games up close, the team weren't very good. But he was always good every week. I mean, game against Chargers, I mean, he was kind of rubbish. He threw 4 interceptions. But the Chargers defense, their downfall, as I said, they need to fire their coach because he's the reason that they didn't make the playoffs the year before. And, keeping incompetence in a job just doesn't make any sense. But, you're losing to Philly. I mean, sure, Philly are the number 1 team in the NFC. You expect a good game. The game starts, okay, they score first. You expect that they have the first possession. They always start strong. But you just don't do anything after that. You're putting up stinkers. You're playing the occasion, not the game, and that's a problem. That is a serious problem. But hey, let me know what you think about the Giants. Should DABOLL be sacked? Should Daniel Jones remain as the QB for the future?